Sir from 17 once again. This is my Ranger... Whoa! Said that wrong. Metro Last Light Ranger Hardcore Difficulty video walkthrough. There we go. But you can excuse my little word slip there, because we are a Ranger, and I've got Ranger on the brain. So, this is Chapter 19, and it's entitled Contagion, and it's one of the more interesting levels on the game, and it's also pretty short. So as you know, on this walkthrough, I was originally intending to do this without killing any hostile people, but I fucked that up. And I'm gonna not kill anybody on this sequence. I'm gonna just rush past them and hide and crouch and all that kind of good stuff. And we shouldn't have too much of an issue, because I don't remember this being much of a difficult mission. It is an interesting one as far as the story goes, because there are moments in this game where it is a little shocking, or I thought it was. And not so much for myself, just for... I kind of think from a layman's perspective of some of the situations that you put inside. And Tomb Raider had a lot of those moments as well that I didn't expect it to, which I'm glad it did, because I thought it definitely put it on a mature scale. Because I don't think there's anything worse than a game that's, you know, masquerading as this serious, dark adventure, and then everything in it's like a fucking fairy tale. That really bugs me. So I'm always, you know, pleasantly surprised and refreshed as I just put a claymore down there instead of throwing a knife at that light. This is on Ranger Hardcore. You cannot see your shit. You have to learn to change it without seeing the HUD. So practice that before you play. But it is nice to see adult themes throughout. And I know this game got a lot of controversy over the titties. There is quite a lot of titties on it. There is an interesting sex scene. But they're adult themes. And this is an adult game. So I don't understand where the issue is with this stuff. Like... I really will never understand it. It's a type of media that is directed at adults, and it's featuring the same kind of content that films do, that books do. The only difference is you're driving the experience. But when you're reading a book, your mind is driving the experience. When you're watching a film, your eyes are driving the experience. You know, it's this notion that you're the person doing the deed where all the trouble comes from. And while I can understand that when it comes to unhinged, extremely crazy people that would be unhinged and crazy people if you gave them the top of a biro pen, but when it's a normal person who acknowledges that it's entertainment and it's something to be enjoyed and that this is something that, you know, does happen but doesn't necessarily mean it should happen or should be done, you know, I don't know where the issue is. Like, it's not meant to titillate, it's not meant to be over-sexualized, it's just an expression of sexuality, and we're so fucking repressed that we just can't see that anymore, and it's really strange. And I got into an interesting dialogue with a person who didn't understand the need for censorship and for age ratings to protect younger, you know, more ignorant people. Not ignorant in a negative sense, just ignorant in they don't understand what they're witnessing from things that they shouldn't see. And obviously, this is not a universal thing. I do believe certain people are more mature than others, and I do believe that certain people can handle certain things a lot better than other people can. It's just a case of when you are younger and those age restrictions are enforced upon us by the laws that be, it's the position of your parents to make a choice. And who knows you better than your parents? You know, they fucking made you. They experience you for the most. And if they don't think that it's something that you should be exposed to, then you shouldn't be exposed to it. You know, it's that simple. And I just can't understand anybody not being able to acknowledge this. And it doesn't matter if there is no direct studies that link, you know, people of a younger age being exposed to more mature content having any effect on them, even though I'm pretty sure that there probably are, you know, studies that show this. It's just from a common sense perspective. Like, I watched a film called It when I was very young. I was about 5 or 6, and I say watched, I must have caught maybe 10-20 minutes of it when I couldn't sleep one time, so I came downstairs to my dad who was watching it, and because he was watching a film and he was in the middle of a film, he just put me on the settee and I watched it with him, and he never thought anything about it. But I had nightmares for years over that film, just absolutely terrible, terrifying nightmares, because I was exposed to something that I just couldn't comprehend, and it scared me. And it's not a fault of my dad, because my dad had no idea that it was having this effect on me, because I was a stoic little kid. But it's just this notion of, I saw something I didn't understand, and I was afraid. And it had a profound effect on my my life afterwards, because I had nightmares for a very long time. And I'm talking waking up crying and screaming kind of nightmares. Really good nightmares. Nightmares that I wish I had now, because I quite enjoy nightmares as I'm older. But just this notion that, you know, people can't objectively look at something and understand why these laws are there and why these restrictions are there and these, you know, suggested certificates exist is literally for protection. It's not everybody can handle things you can handle, you know. You need to take a step back and acknowledge that some people do need to be protected from things, and sometimes people need to be protected from a lot of things. And I don't regret any of the experiences I had when I was younger, because I watched a whole bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have seen when I was younger, and it had no effect on me at all. You know, I was watching Aliens, I was watching fucking Terminator, Die Hards, all that kind of stuff when I was like 7 and 8, maybe even younger. Like, I was into Jean-Claude Van Damme and all that kind of stuff. And sure, I might be a little bit more desensitized to violence, a little bit more disenfranchised from certain things that are deemed shocking just because I was exposed to them at a younger age, and thus my immunity to them or my affinity to them has increased as it would do with anyone through age. But I can't understand anybody not understanding the necessity for those things. And the only observation I can make is that some people are fucking stupid, and we'll never change that because it's just the way it works. And nor should we, because everybody has the opportunity to learn, and it is exceptionally funny laughing at stupid people. But as you can see here, guys, it's just sneaking, it's just taking your time, it's plotting your path, it's knowing where the enemies are, taking them out or not taking them out. It's entirely up to you. Lethal, non-lethal, it's as cliche as it can be. But I'm currently in mourning as well. And before anybody gets too sentimental, it's not, you know, a death of an actual person. It's the death of my iPod. And people might be thinking, well, that sounds pathetic. And it probably does. But I've had this bugger for years. It's been good to me, and I've been good to it. Treated it better than I treat some of my family members. And it just deleted all my fucking stuff on it today for no reason. Disconnected it from my PC. The whole, it can now be connected screen would not go away, so I did a reboot of it. I turned it off, you know, by holding the two buttons, and when it came back on, it said there was nothing on it. And then when it went into iTunes, when I plugged it in to make sure, it said it had to be restored back to factory defaults because it wouldn't read it. So I've lost everything. And you might be thinking, well, he probably only had a couple hundred songs on there. It's like, well, not really. I had 110 gigs worth of songs on there, which is quite a few. And now there's this notion of I don't back any of them up because they just take up space on my PC, and my iPod was my backup, so now they've all gone. There's the arduous task of getting them all back, which, in all honesty, I can't be fucking asked to do, so that's annoying. But I'm sure what'll happen is I'll fancy listening to an album, I'll grab that album, or download that album, or however it works, and bang it on, and I'll gradually work my way up. Because I'm quite seasonal when it comes to music. Sometimes I fancy listening to this and fancy listening to that, and other times I can't stand that and want to listen to something different. But I love the stealth on this game. It works. It works so well, and, you know, just coming off guides for games like Hitman and games like Splinter Cell, the stealth on those games works to a percentage, and then the rest of it is just bullshit, stupid, super alert enemies that can see you from 9 miles away through smoke when they're clinically blind. And it doesn't work, and it bugs me. But when I come back to a game like this, it just functions how it should. You know when you can be seen, you know when you can't be seen, and it's binary. You know, it's black and white, and it works. And sure, it might be easier because of it, but they could have then made the game harder to accommodate for the fact that the stealth function they've got works. But there you go anyhow, folks. Thank you for watching, and you take care now.